welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast, PODMAS edition. I am your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 4. Hello. I think I had a realization just a moment ago, and I was just ruminating on how much I hate my job. Yeah, I was just sitting in that feeling, in that thought process. Today has been a day, and I think about just the abundant, incompetent people around me and how infuriating it is, right? Like how infuriating it is when people are in positions of authority and highbrow titles, and they're incredibly disappointing in the way that they're working. Then I happened to come across a podcast on YouTube. And actually, I listened to this woman's podcast before, like a year or two ago, like during the pandemic. I came across her podcast because I listened to Tim Dillon, and she was a guest on Tim Dillon. Her name is Jessa Reed. And the way that she thinks is very ethereal, like me as well. And she's like, her episodes are very much about like her life journey and just different epiphanies that she experienced. And she speaks very much like 5-dimensional type of rhetoric. Like she's not of this world type of thing. Anyway, I resonated with an episode that she did. Mind you, this episode came out 2 years ago, and I just came across it now on YouTube. And the title of it was called Worker Bee. And something about it just made me feel like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and listen to this and just kind of vibe out, considering the day I had. And I just had a feeling that something that she said, I just had a feeling that there will be something that she says in this episode that resonated with me, that will resonate with me. And I was in fact right. There was a part in the episode, she says how when we're in a new stage in life, right, that we secretly wanted, or not even secretly, that we've made known that we wanted for so long, and we're finally at that stage, and yet it's hard to settle in it because it's new, it's a transition, it's a change. And just like with anything, change in general is hard. Just generally, it's hard. It's hard getting used to something that's new. And it's more comfortable to stay in something that has been comfortable for you for a few years, even though you've had incessant complaints about that previous stage, that previous job, that previous relationship, whatever the case is. You've been wanting for change, and now that change is here, and you're feeling remorseful for not embracing the previous stage that you were in. You're feeling like, damn, I should have been more grateful for where I was, and damn, I should have been more appreciative where I was. I should have just stayed where I was. I should have just stayed in that old job. I should have just stayed in that old relationship. Yet you forget, no, you wanted to leave. You wanted to move on to new pastures. And now that you're in new pastures, it's hard. It's hard because it's change. And once she said that, it literally clicked within me like, okay, I'm going through that right now with this new campus, new job, even though it's the same role as teaching, which is what I've been saying publicly, internally, all of the leads that I am ready to move forward from. I'm still in this particular position, yet I'm at a whole new campus, and just the nuance of this new campus is hard because there's so many things that I just find infuriating. And I find myself feeling bad because damn, I should have appreciated where I was before. I should have just stayed where I was. Should have never left. And I'm even trying to figure out how to go back. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to go back to that previous campus I was at, because I'm so incredibly disappointed with how things are at this new campus. And like, I'm literally in the process of trying to figure that out. Now, however that goes is however it goes. I don't know. But I think this really speaks to how I'm forgetting that I wanted to leave that position to be more in a non-instructional position. And though that opportunity didn't immediately come with this new campus, there was some attraction with this current position because of what I've communicated to the leader there, and what I've communicated my desires to move out of the classroom. He made it clear that he would support that 100%, and that there's evidence of that there are previous teachers who are no longer teachers and are in outside of teaching positions at the school, at the organization, at the district wide. Like, there's evidence of that. And so that was the sole reason why I decided to take on this current position. Although, again, this current position is a teaching position. That was my sole attraction to just sign up for it, because this could be just an avenue to where I've been saying I wanted to go. And look, I get that, and I receive this moment of epiphany. I just find it still incredibly hard. Like, the process is always hard, and like, I want to hurry up and get to the place of that cushion, right? Like, when I think about my previous campus and the 4 years that I spent there, I've really built a community there. There was a sense of home and family there that we've created together. I have great relationships with people there still to this day, and I'm so grateful for that. And I miss that. Like, I miss that cushion. I miss that safe place. And I know that is one of the main reasons that is making me want to go back. And I still want to go back. Like, I'm saying all this to say I still want to go back. But look, I mean, I don't know how that would look like. I really don't. I can't predict the future. I'm only doing my best. But I think maybe I need to shift my mindset, because every day I go into this freaking job and I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate everyone. I hate you. I hate you. I hate not everyone, but there's like a lot of them. And I hate how things are run. I hate how things are done. I hate how things are not done. I hate how this, there's so many things I'm just so upset about. And this is just like the growing pains, right? This is a part of the growing pains of diving into something that's new. Regardless of it being the same organization, it's still a new setting. So I'm having to really pinch myself to remind myself of that. I can't lie or deny that fact. So I think for me, I need to give myself grace, but I also need to just be present and let things fall the way that they're supposed to and see what happens. I don't know. It's just, I just think I don't know. It's just a flurry of emotions and thoughts that come to mind and that come to heart. And I'm just like, I just hate it all. I really do. I find myself having to okay, I can do it, And, I go through it, I do it, but it's just, when is enough enough? Like, when is it, when is the external factor too much for me to bear, that regardless of me knowing that I can only control what I can control, right? I can only control my reaction and stuff like that. But sometimes that is not enough. Like sometimes, like if the external factors, multiple, are so much of a hindrance for me that is impacting my internal factors, it's like, what the fuck? And a coworker was saying, it will only go up from here. Things will get better. Like, shut up. Shut up. No, the bottom hasn't fallen yet. Things are not getting better. I mean, it may not be so negative, but like, it doesn't feel like that. And I think sometimes, working within education in this field, there's this immediate push to have this toxic positivity, to not just, and I don't want to dwell on the negative, but like, don't just tell me things are going to get better. Like, what are we doing? And don't just talk about it, like, be about it. And I communicate that too. Like, let's stop saying like, oh, once the new semester come in, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. No, we're not. It's just like New Year resolutions. Niggas be saying, oh, I'm going to go to the gym starting January 1st. No, you're not. And if you do, it's going to last until the 17th of January. Like, no, you're not. Like, stop. Like, So it's just a lot. And the setting just sucks. I'm talking dog shit right now. Anyway, I think I'm just like trying to shift my mindset and remind myself of the why. But honestly, I'm at a space right now where I don't even think the why is worthy anymore. Like, I don't even think I want to be in a non-instructional position at this organization anymore. I just think things are just so fucked that I really want nothing to do anymore with this. And I don't want to keep on quitting, right? I don't want to keep on quitting and being like, oh, fuck, I don't have a plan B, C, or D, right? So I just have to like, which is why I'm trying to work on my mindset and I know I have resiliency. I know I have the capabilities of just doing what I need to do to get paid consistently. I just don't want to, right? Like, I just don't want to keep on fucking doing, like, I'm sick of it. Everything I'm sick of. I'm sick of, like, all talk. I'm sick of niggas walking around with masks. I'm sick of people walking into classrooms acting like they know what they're doing and they're just trying to get you in a gotcha moment. I'm sick of having to feel like a burden because I'm running late and you're trying to question me down. Hey, when do you think you're gonna come? Are you gonna make it? Because we don't have any stuff. I don't give a fuck what you don't have. That's not my concern. Don't put that on my back. Y'all, I just hate it. Like, the whole shit is fucked. Like, I eventually want to, and that's really was the sole reason why I wanted to leave the position, because whenever I plan to be out, whether it's planned or not, I don't want to have to deal with just the backlash of, well, what about your classes? What work do you have for them? Do you have an assignment? It's just like, shut the fuck, figure it out. Aren't you guys teachers at the heart? Can't you just figure out what you want to do? Oh my God. Yo, look, anyway, me talk about it some more is going to make me feel even more annoyed. And I got 3 more days left of this week before the break begins. So I just got to get my mind right. Anyway, speaking of icks, let's talk about this TikTok ick video. And ick is basically a colloquialism of a slang word. It's a colloquial. Oh my gosh, it's a slang term for pet peeves. Colloquialism. Say that 3 times. Anyway, it's basically these nurses at Emory University. They're in a TikTok video. They created a TikTok video with full identification of who they are. Like, you see their faces. They're not like covering any spot in their face. Like, you see their full face, and it's not like they're wearing masks and you can't really tell. No. They might as well show their ID badges too. But either way, they're showing their full faces in video, and they're sharing some of their pet peeves about being a nurse and some of the patients that they deal with. So some of the pet peeves that they talk about is when their patient gives birth and the woman says, she asks, how much does my baby weigh? And it's like, okay, the baby is still in my hands. Like, relax, wait. So I'm going to read these quotes verbatim. So the nurse says, quote, "My ick is when you ask me how much the baby weighs and it's still in your hands." That's kind of funny. The next quote says, quote, "Saying you don't want any pain medicine, no epidural, but you are at an 8 out of 10 pain." Another added. Another one says, quote, "When the dad comes outside and asks for a paternity test right outside the room door," end quote. Yo, that's kind of funny. Anyway, so obviously they're sharing their grievances, their moments of frustration when it comes to working as a nurse and their experience with some of their patients. And look, I'm kind of essentially doing the same thing, right? Like, I'm on here sharing my grievances with my employment and the position that I have currently. Hey, maybe this, I don't know, I won't speak into existence, but like, look, at what point, when does freedom of speech get protected? Like, I just want to know at what point, because it's not like these nurses said the specific patient's name. You know, it's not like the nurses shared specific medical records. You know, there was no HIPAA violation technically. But I think because the place of employment was clearly shown, I guess, in some points of the video, and the nurses' faces were clearly shown in the video, and people were kind of, you know, even if the name of the workplace wasn't shown, because the nurses' faces were shown in the video, people could easily pin, oh, this nurse works here. Like, people are sleuths on the internet. So I guess because of that, it made it even more of a taboo thing or issue. Anyway, so they got fired. These nurses got fired. All the nurses in this TikTok video who shared their ick and said what I said based off of the quotes that I just shared, they got fired. They lost their jobs. Emory Healthcare announced in an Instagram statement that it took appropriate actions in light of the TikTok, framing the nurses in question as former employees. It did not respond immediately when BuzzFeed News requested clarification on what happened to the staffers. So former employees definitely give the inclination that they got fired. And they say, quote, "We are aware of the TikTok video that included disrespectful and unprofessional comments about maternity patients. This video does not represent our community to patient and family-centered care and falls short of the values and standards we expect every member of our team to hold and demonstrate." I mean, look, free these nurses. Damn. First, we firing nurses for not getting vaccinated, even though these were the same nurses at the front lines getting all the risk put in their faces during the height of the pandemic. And because these very same nurses did not acquiesce to the vaccine mandate, they got fired. And just a couple of months later, there's some repercussion happening because people are recognizing, hey, I lost money for this. The vaccine wasn't, what is the word? It wasn't really reliable. So how can we pay back all these nurses that we fired? And how can we give them a job again that is secure? Like, and now we're firing these nurses because of a TikTok. I don't know. I just feel like, look, I don't know. Like, I guess a part of me understand how, sure, maybe you shouldn't do a TikTok video, but then that'd be hypocritical because I'm doing this podcast and I talk hella shit. Now, I think the difference is like, or not even the difference, because I guess because I'm not in the medical field, maybe it's totally different with medical field, right? So maybe it's like more of a disgust if you were to share any pet peeves that you may have about your patient nurse experience. Maybe, but at the very least, they didn't share the patient's names. They didn't share their medical information. They didn't show pictures or videos of their patients. Like, let these nurses vent. The fuck? Like, let us vent. Like, if we want to have freedom, right? Freedom of speech. Why is my job in the line? You know, I hate when people be like, well, freedom of speech. We all got freedom of speech, but there's no freedom of consequence. You know, there's always going to be repercussions for whatever X, Y, and Z you do. I just feel like that's some bullshit. Like, first of all, we can't promote this, like, social media friendly culture that we're in, so much so that you get mad because I said something you didn't like. Ooh, I hurt your feelings. That means you got to cost me my job. Like, what are we talking about? Like, cut it out. Like, what about the nurses who is fucking dancing? It's okay to dance on video while your patient is dying behind you, but you're doing a TikTok dance? That's okay. But me talking about a pet peeve that I have about some of my patient experiences, you know, because one of the woman who gave birth wanted to immediately ask me, how much does my baby weigh? That's enough for you to fire me? Come on now. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Like, it's a fucking joke. Have some heart. Like, I don't know. I am not in favor of them getting fired. And honestly, initially, I was thinking of it differently. I was thinking of like, oh man, maybe they shouldn't have, created a TikTok, or I don't know, but I just feel like that's not fair. Then I remember that black female therapist just a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago at this point, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but I talked about her on this podcast and how she was venting and just really degrading, very much so, black men for not being in therapy or not really exercising therapy as they should, in her opinion. She was just dogging them and degrading this demographic of patients that she see, of clients that she see. And so she was getting a lot of backlash for it. And she eventually lost her position as a therapist at whatever practice clinic that she was at. Now, I was in favor of that because I just hate the rhetoric of downplaying black men and degrading them, so much so because it's happening on all sides. It's happening from some black women. It's happening from white culture. It's happening from LGBTQIA plus culture. Like, there's a lot of attacks happening towards straight black men, and I'm sick of it. So I think the reason why I was so enthralled and pleased with the outcome of her getting fired. And look, I don't want her to be on the streets and struggling. I'm not saying that. I just think stop. I feel like we just at the very least should protect some class, right? Some class of people, some groups of people. And at the very least, being a black woman, sure, you can share your grievances about black men, right? Oh man, I wish black men would open the door for me more. I don't know, like things like that. That's light. But the way that she was going out and against black men in her videos. It was just very rude. It was very degrading. And being that she was a therapist, it just felt so unbecoming of her in this profession. Like, girl, at the very least, you should be more of a soothing type of figure. And her not being that made me feel like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. You know, get some life lessons from this. This is ridiculous. So I was in favor of that. I just feel like, you know, black men are not as protected as they should be, as they could be. And it's happening on so many sides of the angle. So whatever. But back to this TikTok, we gotta vent. Like, some jobs, y'all, like, are so draining. And it's like the ones that you naturally think of, right? Nurses, teachers. That's the two I could think of right now. That's like the top two I could think of that is so draining. There are some jobs you just like, okay, I'm just sitting here. I get my check, but I'm not drained every day, right? Like, I'm not being pressured, or I'm not being pulled in so many different angles. Sure, you know, but like with nursing and teaching, it's just a lot. So if I am finding refuge and solace in venting on a public platform, let me the fuck be. Like, don't suddenly feel like I need to be doxxed because of that. You know, like, my livelihood, until I can figure out another option that is sustainable for me, is dependent upon this specific position. So, girl, okay. I just got a text from someone. You know what? You know how you plan to hang out with someone? I was supposed to hang out with an old college friend of mine, and she and I, like, we've been just like rekindling our friendship and all these things, and we literally was like planning to hang out. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna share some ideas that I have. And she's talking about, oh, she's gonna have to do a rain check because she ain't got the money. The fuck? What are you talking about? You know what? At this point, I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at the fact that we literally just had a conversation about hanging out and making an effort, and how I will be in town for the next, couple of days. And your instant response to me is, sorry, I ain't got it. Did you not have it? Like, did you had it when we first talked about it 3 or 4 days ago? Let me stop. I don't know if she's listening, but God bless. Like, okay, girl, never mind. And this is why I do shit by myself. And here's the thing, the friends who reach out to me first and plan to hang out, it follows through. Like, those friends really follow through. Like, I have a friend date coming up in 2 days from now. Me and her, we used to be co-workers at the previous campus. But I'm so happy that we still maintain our friendship, and we're gonna have a little girl friend date, and I'm excited for that. And that happens, right? But like, to even, I don't know, let me stop it. Anyway, I just find that so freaking annoying. Like, girl, what? I literally was researching activities for us to do, like, fun, because I'm tired of, like, the whole let's just drink and go to a bar. No. And I come up to you on some, oh, here's what I have, and you immediately shut it down. Like, you can't even suggest something else that's cost effective for you or completely free. There's free things we could do. We could go to the frog pond and skate, or just sit around. I don't know. There's something that we could, like, there could have been an option. Don't just be like, I know I can't do it. Like, what? And I'm saying all this, and I ain't got it like that either right now. But, I make it do what it do. I figure it out. Child. Anyway, I don't know. Today's just been a day. Today drained me, y'all. Today drained me. Free these TikTok nurses. I am going to write a letter to Emory University because this is unfair. This is not right. It's not right. We should be able to speak our speech, especially the profession that we're in. The profession that is so thankless. The job that we fucking do is thankless, y'all. Like, I can't even, every day I walk into this job and I'm just like, I am so thankless. Like, especially considering the caliber of work here done by quote unquote professionals. I am so, like, y'all should be happy I'm here. And maybe I should eat some humble pie, sure. But I'm being still humble and real about it. Kiss my feet. Hello? Is the mic on? Because at this point, it's insulting. It's insulting when I'm showing up as the best professional and I'm doing my best and I'm presenting this approachable, well-to-do job, right? And I'm surrounded by incompetence. Yeah, I hope nobody listens who may know what I'm talking about. Who happened to work at this. I don't know. Let me move on. But this just goes in tie with this TikTok video. I really do feel bad that these nurses got fired. Now, I'm sure, I hope that they could just find another nursing job or whatever they want to do next easily. I really hope that for them, and I wish them well, because this is not okay. Like, we can't, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, we can't be in this social culture. Everyone has a TikTok. Everyone has a podcast. Everyone has an Instagram. Everyone has a following. Everyone has a YouTube channel. Follow me on my YouTube channel, right? And then get mad when I post a video that happens to be about you. Okay, so? Okay, and it is. That's my experience. Hello, I'm not a fucking robot. I'm not an AI. I have emotions. I have feelings. And I'm going to vent. Today's been a day I'm going to vent. Like, let's not act like everyone loves their job. Everyone's great at this job. Oh, we're fucking great. No, it's not happening. Okay? And that's okay. Like, let us be okay in that frustration. Don't wag the pink envelope. You know, back in the day when they would deliver the news that you've been fired, they give you a pink envelope. That's what I've seen in the movies. But back in the day, like in the 80s, early 90s, that was the thing. That was how you know you got fired. They would deliver you a pink envelope and probably at the same time give you a paper box, a cardboard box to pack up your shit and go. Don't dangle that in my face and then want me to still maintain this social media presence on behalf of this workplace. Like, what are we talking about? Child. Anyway, God bless these Emory University nurses. I wish them well. My heart goes out to you guys. I am in your support. And man, fuck this job. All right, you guys, I'm going to end it here. Hey, I'm noticing a lot of great reviews and a lot of views on YouTube, like hundreds, which I'm really grateful for. But then there are some videos that's like completely zero views. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, I would love it if you watch this or listen to this episode and watch the YouTube video, obviously, while listening to it on YouTube. Anyway, please subscribe. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Add on to the subscribers on our YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel. Well, it's our YouTube channel. So just type in God Built This Podcast and you'll see the channel there and all of the videos of the podcast episodes that are there. So please make sure you are subscribed if you are listening on YouTube. As you are listening on YouTube, are you subscribed? Please subscribe and click the notification button, bell, all of that. I appreciate it. And make sure you are leaving a review, whether on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. the whole jazz. I've been receiving some comments on YouTube. I'm going to read the recent ones that I received. I love it so much. Interact with me. Show me your dick. Please don't. That was a joke. It's a joke. Anyway, one of the comments I received from the main podcast, God Built This Podcast, not PODMAS, from Lotto God 83H. That's his username, or her username. I'm assuming it's a man. I'm assuming. And this was to episode 217, where I talked about Lil Boosie and how he was being talked about by Gabrielle Union, when Gabrielle Union implied that he may be a homosexual because he always has energy talking about Zaya Wade and how he shouldn't cut his dick off even though he wants to be a girl or whatever, follow along. Anyway, Lotto God 83H says Boosie from New Orleans. Because in the episode, I was saying, where is he from? Or I asked some type of question about his background. And Lotto God 83H clarified for me. Of course, I could have easily Googled it. But in the heat of the moment, I'm just like asking questions. And I appreciate the comment because now we all know. In case anyone wondered, you could look at the comment on YouTube at God Built This Podcast and see that Boosie from New Orleans. So shout out to Lotto God 83H. And I also want to give a shout out to another YouTube comment. This was on a PODMAS episode 2, where I talked about the GMA affair. And this person says her name is Lisa Montgomery. Now, this sounds like a professional woman. Okay, hello, Lisa Montgomery. This sounds like a professional woman, a woman about the business, probably, an executive chief officer. It sounds like a strong name. I love that name, Montgomery. She says, TJ let a white girl bring him down. Let it be known, Lisa, that's what he did. 2 white women, because allegedly, prior to Amy Robach, or Rodak, Rolex, whatever, TJ was allegedly with a previous white female coworker who worked at Good Morning America. So that nigga was just laying out his dick. It was like, you get a dick, So yes, Lisa Montgomery, TJ let a white girl bring him down. So God bless TJ Holmes. God bless. And free these nurses. All right, you guys, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for supporting and listening. I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.